Hey everyone, making another off-the-cuff recap of the Week 2 games for our SPF VGC Regulation G Draft League. Quick reminder, everyone's, drafted 10 Pokemon, only one restricted. So that's the restricted Pokemon you're using unless you go through a waiver process. So yeah, and based on the last video, I added some background music to make it a little less boring. I made myself a little louder so you don't have to turn your volume all the way up to hear what the heck I'm saying. And also, I double-checked to make sure that the games are in the correct order, but I am an idiot, so it is quite possible that I still messed it up in some way. But anyway, let's get into it. We've got two 0-1 teams up for our first match. We've got Ride On D's Nuts, commanded by Coach Brantley here, with the spooky Calyrex Shadow Rider that looks to put the smack down on this Lunala. You've got the Indeedee to help protect from this King Gambit Sucker Punch. You've got some slow guys to counteract this possible Trick Room from the Farigiraf here. And you've got the neutralizing gas slaking combo, which is really fun. You get rid of the Truant, so you can just, banded smack people around. So we've got Master Koga's team, the Peachy Persian, with the Lunala that has a lot of different utility moves. It's got Tailwind and Trick Room, although it's also got really good offensive stats as well. As we saw last week, the Power Herb Meteor Beam can just give it a straight +1 special attack boost off the rip. I also just kind of love this long boy here. Let's see how it goes. So we've got Indeedee, Goodra into King Gambit and Farigiraf here. You gotta imagine this is like a Trick Room setup. I'm curious to see what this Goodra does. I have seen all of these games, but that does not mean I remember everything that happens in all of them. Psychic, I guess I should have let it keep going. The Psychic Seed makes this thing specially defensive. It's also super physically defensive. It resists most of what's going to come out of either of these guys. So if I'm Koga, I'm probably getting rid of this King Gambit. Well, that's not true. You could switch out the King Gambit, but you could also just, I guess, kowtow this thing, the Pooped Pant, and just get rid of it. I don't know. Let's see what he does. Pooped Pant imprisons to prevent the Trick Room, presumably. Colberberry eats the kowtow. Shelters up. Trick Room doesn't happen. Good play from Brantley. Protects into the kowtow. Body presses. Kills King Gambit. Psychic gets protected. Really strong first two turns from the Ride On D's Nuts here. This thing is going to be super difficult to kill. You've killed the King Gambit. You prevented the Trick Room setup with the Imprison. They double attacked into your Protect. So all the momentum is here. Here comes Lunala. Sick shiny, by the way. Expanding Force does nothing. Moongeist Beam does nothing. Heavy Slam does nothing. Dazzling Gleam does nothing. Great. So this is it. So turn 3, just a bit of chip on everybody. Love to see it. Protect here. Moongeists again. The chip is starting to add up. The body press does a bit, but maybe not enough. This thing's really strong, but its offensive pressure isn't really coming through, and that's given Koga a chance to maybe crawl back some space here. Well, I say that, but the Moongeist Beam doesn't kill. Body press takes out the Farigiraf. So it's 4-2. The Lunala is still pretty healthy. These guys are likely both going to die without doing anything this turn because this thing can probably do 2% with Fake Out, and then this will kill him, and you just protected on you expanded Force on the last turn, so you could protect this guy this turn, but honestly, Farigiraf is dead. You probably want whoever your heavy hitters are in the back, Calyrex and whoever, to come out and clean up, so yeah, probably just gonna get them both killed. Interesting. Keeps the Indeedee alive. Toadscruel comes out. Doesn't die to the Moongeist. Gets the Citrus back. Is kind of healthy. Finishes off the Indeedee because spores the Iron Hands. I'm sorry that I'm pausing on every turn. There's just a kind of a very much back and forth of momentum in this game, and it's interesting so far. Sporing the Iron Hands is an interesting call considering Princess Bonnie's about to come out here. Obviously, you know that you're faster than this thing, but he hasn't Terra'd yet, so you gotta figure that because there's still Lunala's Terra on the table here, that you don't really know what it could bust out to beat you guys. Now, granted, you still have your Terra yourself, so maybe that's what he's thinking here. But I would have spored the Lunala, because what is this realistically going to do to Princess Bonnie? Not much. Well, I mean, I guess, like, Wild Charge, but I don't think that kills. Plus, oh, you got the Rage Powder, too? Terra Normal. Brilliant. Moongeist. So, yeah, so the Lunala Terra comes out. The Princess Bonnie Terra comes out. It's fighting. Wow! Grimnay activates. That's actually freaking next level. The Terra fighting Terra Blast to beat the Terra Normal Lunala. And also, I mean, it's not just that it beats the King Gambit is probably the primary reason he put it on there, but just could not have asked for a better turnaround than that. And that'll do it. This thing's asleep. That'll clean up. Really, really savvy play from right on D's nuts on that game. All right, let's check game 2. So here's Calyrex, and Toadscruel just leads with what came out. Just leads with the back 2 from last time. Presumably not fearing the Trick Room setup quite as much, because you'd be able to. You know that he knows you're able to counter it, so you might as well just go for the beatdown. And if he does stick with his guns and do the Trick Room setup, then you know what to do for game 3. But here you have the Skeledirge and the Djembe here. Unfortunately, the Skeledirge is not in a great spot here because this thing is going to hit it with a super effective Astral Barrage. Like, that's coming on this turn. And you don't want to necessarily exhaust that Terra when you know your Lunala is going to need it to survive. And you can fake out the Toadscruel here, but yeah, the best play here, unfortunately, is going to have to be like either a Protect fake out, which doesn't give you any momentum, or you're going to have to switch something in to eat an Astral Barrage and fake out, because, you have to fake out, otherwise you're getting spored. So let's see what happens. Terra Fighting's immediately. Afraid of the Shadow Ball. I see. You're just going to put an end to this. Heatwave. Okay. So I'm assuming. So now I'm guessing this is a defensive. Obviously it's going to be defensive of Skeledirge of some type, but I'm guessing it's calc to survive an Astral Barrage because stay in, no Terra, Heatwave. Missing the Toadscruel is very unfortunate. That's gotta suck. Would have liked to have seen a Torch Song though. But yeah, that's an unfortunate miss. But I sort of see the vision here, but now it's Calm-Minded once, and now you're in real trouble. Draining Kisses doesn't do that much. This must be Assault Vest. Wow. Did a lot, did not do enough to kill. Wait, did that Heatwave miss again on turn 2? Missed the Princess, so misses 1 on turn 1, okay, so 2 Heatwave misses. That's pretty tough. Master Koga says, is this a prank? Because that probably would have killed Princess Bonnie, and now you're probably about to get schmixed. Okay, hang on. Okay, so the Draining Kiss doesn't do that much. Getting ready for the Astral Barrage with the Protect switch there. And the Expanding Force gets protected, resists it. Astral Barrage will... it's not calced, it's sashed. Right, smart. Imprisons to stop the Trick Room setup. Torch Songs, too late. It's gonna die next turn. Psychic to finally kill that thing. I'm glad you brought the Psychic. Expanding Force will finish that off. Farigiraf, Dazzling Gleams for not a lot. So you fake out Who are you faking out? Whoa, Life Dew. I forget this thing gets that. That's funny. Gives a little bit of health back. Undoes that Dazzling Gleam. Thanks to the Iron Defense, or the Shelter, sorry. The close combat doesn't kill. Terra steals to beat the Expanding Force. That's smart, but the Body Press finishes. Wow, no mercy. That was a great double attack. Like, really, really good. It was definitely dead. Life Dew. Okay. Still, can this Lunala get through these walls? These aren't, like we saw last time, these are not offensive powerhouses. Okay. Body Press will kill the Farigiraf. Moongeist Beam cannot kill Pooped Pant here. Because it's immune to ghost types as a normal type. So let's see what we get here. The Psychic deals 32. The Expanding Force not doing enough. It looks like Vibraphone is gonna pull this off. So that's interesting. They sort of flipped the leads around, right? So you had Toadscruel, Calyrex in the back this time, or in the front this time when they were in the back last time, and these two in the back didn't bust out the slaking there. And this time you replaced King Gambit with Skeledurge, but they both did basically the same thing, which is not very much. But then you had Farigiraf come from behind and put on offensive pressure instead of the Trick Room. So it's kind of interesting how Game 2 sort of flipped Game 1 on its head. So let's see how Game 3 goes. So here we do the Weaking combo versus Lunala King Gambit. So the Neutralizing Gas beats the Shadow Shield, and presumably Defiant. I didn't see a Supreme Overlord count come in, and pressure definitely comes in. But most importantly, no Truant here. So we know that the Lunala has Psychic, so it'll probably go into this Wheezing, and it could probably one-shot it, but you usually see protects from Wheezings on turn 1 for reasons like this. And there it goes. Sucker Punch doesn't do that much. Knockoff just kills him. Ability Shield. I wonder what that was for. Is it Worry Seed from Toadscruel, perhaps? I'm not sure what the Ability Shield is there for. Yeah, so you fake out the Slaking so it can't go again. Start whacking the Wheezing. Wheezing explodes. Doesn't do that much. And now your guy's going to be Truant. Yep, loafing around. Expanding Force. Does it? Wow, even in terrain, not enough to get... So definitely it's Assault Vested. Colbur Berry saves it, but doesn't really. So yeah. Now you've got a slaking attack. Now you've got a slaking attack turn, and it's a tough turn for Koga here though, because now with your Lunala dead, you have to make sure that you can kill this thing. Sucker Punch will do it, but he hasn't Terra'd yet, so and you know he's Terra fighting. And if you Sucker Punch in the Terra fighting and he Terra blasts you here, it's over. It's not over because if you have Farigiraf in the back, you can Psychic it. But the Astral Barrage is going to kill this, and this, even if it's tough because it's hard to kill the Slaking this turn when you know you got to kill this, and the Slaking is likely to attack the Iron Hands, or the Astral Barrage will just kill it. So let's see how this goes. So just hard switch to the Farigiraf. I think that's a smart move. Protect to see if he Terras. Very good. Unfortunately, Knockoff does come and kill the thing. So now you don't have your way to kill it, and that's gonna do it. The good read on the Slaking there. To go for that. That's not gonna do it. Can't even get the flinch. And with that, right on D's nuts, we'll go to 1-1. The Peachy Persian will fall to 0-2. Really good set there. Game 2 had a lot going on. There's differences. A heat. I was gonna say a heat wave goes here or there, but Koga won that game, so I guess that's Yeah, I think Koga was close to crawling back on that one, but that play, that knockoff play to cover the switch was really smart by Brantley. So yeah, well-deserved win. Yeah, on to the next one. All right, so here we have the Leshy Lechonk, captained by Rai OTF, versus the Karamja Whippers, captained by Coach Z420. Both teams 1-0. This Kyogre we saw in the Weather Wars last week. Overquill can go either Swift Swim or Intimidate again, so it's pretty wacky, but like lots of rain support with the Basculegion and the Arch. And then Whimsicott, as we know, is just really good. On this side, we've got Reshiram, who's a little neutered in the rain, but not wholly. Raging Bolt. I hope this Raging Bolt is packing Thunder. That's kind of a BDE move. And then, of course, your Prankster, your Great Tusk. Just on paper, I would say I would favor Coach Z420 here, just because it seems that you're just a little slower and weaker in the rain. You have some water weak guys. I don't know what this Chansey can do against any of these strong physical attackers, but Tornadus has Prankster weather effects, so anything can happen. And Raging Bolt's super good. So let's see what happens. Raging Bolt, Mienshao, and the Kyogre Overquill. So yeah, you assume. So yeah, this is a smart lead from the Leshy Lechonk. You have to actually let's see if this is okay. So it's not Intimidate Overquill. You know it's Swift Swim, but it can't do much to these guys at the moment, and you're worried that a Fake Out, and you're probably worried a Fake Out's coming. So switching to a Ghost type to eat the Fake Out is smart. The Raging Bolt is likely to go to Thunderclap into the Kyogre, or possibly Thunder. So yeah, let's see what happens. Didn't Terra the Kyogre. You flinch it. Thunderclap fails because it must have been going for something else. I'm not sure. Wide Guard to beat Origin Pulse, I assume, or Water Spout. That's so the Wide Guard is effective. The Raging Bolt notably eats that Wave Crash pretty well. It does resist it, but yeah, this is a beefy guy. Thunderbolt kills the Basculegion, so yeah, good start from Rai there. Wins kind of the opener. Thunderclap deals a lot, not enough to kill actually. Close combat just ruins that Arch. Wow. Mienshao really put the beat down on the Arch. It didn't get its shock off. Here comes Overquill again. It gets Thunderclapped. The Crunch finally takes down the Mienshao, but the Water Spout gets Wide Guarded again. Man, playing around the Wide Guard and then playing into it only to lose both times on it is rough. And there's the Prankster Sunny Day we were looking for, now that he can't switch. Holding it was very bold, but it really paid off for him here. Nice. Outplays him in the rain, takes him out the rain. Just a clinic there from Rai. Let's check game 2. So this time you lead the Tornadus and Raging Bolt. Leads Kyogre again, but this time puts the Whimsicott on. Turn 1 Terras. I'm not sure what that's about. That Thunderclap did a lot. That Moonblast did a lot. Oh! That's what the Terra Fairy is about. It's so you can make sure you kill this thing. It was an offensive Terra. Offensive Terra on a Prankster Whimsicott is ballsy, but it works out. You pick up that kill. Turns on the Sunny Day. Doesn't even matter. Yeah, your Kyogre took a bit of a beating here, but you can kind of switch it on this Reshiram. Here. I'm hoping this thing is scarfed, or not scarfed, sashed. This Whimsicott's sashed. But yeah, you could switch into like Archaludon here, on like a Heat Wave or whatever. Switches to Overquill. Tailwind gets set. Yeah, there's the Heat Wave. Wow. So the Whimsicott is sashed. The Overquill just happens to take 99%. I would have liked to have seen Archaludon there. but whatever. You're just trying to reset the rain. Oh, it's because you didn't bring our Jalodon, right? Yeah, Bastion Legion. I can understand not bringing our Jalodon after all it did last game was just get close combated. Sets the sun again. Yeah, really needed to get that Tornadus killed before he comes back out. Didn't work. Last Respects. With everyone dead, that Last Respects is going to one-shot absolutely everything. The Fake Out doesn't work. Hang on a second. The Bleakwind Storm doesn't kill it. Oh, wait. So this thing has Fake Out, Wide Guard, and Close Combat. Can it actually hit your Ghost type? I would have killed this Tornadus. Because now the Bleakwind Storm is going to kill ya. Crit didn't matter. It did 48 last time. Well played. I think you win that game if... I don't think that Mienshao had something to kill your Bastion Legion, did it? Maybe I missed something in the first game where he did. But yeah, that was a... Yeah, good. Anyway, really good prep. From Rai, absolutely very ready for the rain. Leshy Lechonk go to 2-0. Karamja Whippers go to 1-1. Let's move on to the next game. So here we have the Terapagos Tween Stars, coached by Double Rock Slide, versus Valdens and the Ledians Lucky Lads. Both teams are 1-0 after week 1. We've seen this support Infernape from Double Rock Slide before. It's got Fake Out. It's got like Mach Punch and stuff. It can be really nasty if you underestimate it. Yeah, and we got an Ogerpon duel with Ogerpon Rock versus Ogerpon Fire. Valden's team, you can tell, is really sun heavy. You've got the Groudon. We went from the rain team to the sun team. You've got Protosynthesis Slitherwing here. You've got Chlorophyll Shiftry. You've got of course you've got Ogerpon Fire, which gets a +1 boost to attack when it terastallizes. But you know what's good into a fire team? A really high physical attack rock type with Sturdy. So let's see how this plays out. So we've got the Shiftry. We've got the Shiftry Chlorophyll in the sun, and we have the Groudon here. Raw into Solgaleo and Ogerpon Rock here. So yeah, the Ogerpon is faster than the Groudon and can hit it super effectively with a grass move. So possibly we're looking at a Terra from Groudon this turn. Probably a Terra from Solgaleo or a switch, because even though you are in fact faster than the Groudon, it's hard to kill in one shot from this. Because I don't think Sunsteel Strike kills this. So you got to be careful. Also, I think let's see what happens. So we do see a Terra from the Groudon, not from this. We see a double protect to see what happens. You set the Tailwind, and the Precipice Blades, it goes into the protect. Smart scouting play, except now the Groudon is faster than both of your guys and is probably just going to hit Precipice Blades again. So the safe play puts Casey behind... Oh, sorry, I shouldn't say the real names, my bad, but puts the Tween Stars behind here in momentum. But there's still lots of room. There's still lots of room to come back. You just have to make sure this Ogerpon doesn't die. Terra Psychics to be able to eat a Precipice Blades. Follow Me's the Dark Pulse. Swords Dance. Trick Room. Well played. Sorry, let's see what happens. So you get the Expanding Force. The Psychic Terrain isn't set, so you just raw into that. Citrus Berry saves it. Misses the Solgaleo, but kills the guy. So this is a wild turn. So nice turnaround from Double Rock Slide there. Yeah, so the Citrus Berry, it eats it, and then the Ivy Cudgel doesn't kill it by 7%. So it's even possible that there are rolls in there that could have made that turn different. But Precipice Blades critically misses the Solgaleo. I think it probably would have lived since it's Terra'd out of the weakness, but that's still a pretty big miss. Then on the next turn, does nothing with the with the Eerie Impulse, sets Psychic Terrain with the Gardevoir, and then blasts them both with the Expanding Force we saw earlier. So that's where the Psychic Terrain's coming in. You got to think this Gardevoir also has Expanding Force. Terras are gone, so an Expanding Force is likely to just one-shot this Slitherwing. The question is, what do we do about Wicked Panda? Trick Room's up for 2 more turns. You Flamethrow it, and that's that. And game 1 goes to Double Rock Slide. Just absolutely had a game plan and executed it. I thought that turn 1 Double Protect was a little on the weak side because he got the Tailwind set up for free, but you exhausted his Terra and you knew you had Trick Room to fall back on the next turn with absolutely no fear. Although, oh yeah, because you followed me and that prevented the Dark Pulse. Yeah, exactly. I was like, what if this double attacked in a Solgaleo? And that was, yeah. So yeah, just really game plan went to a T there. But we'll see if Valdens comes up with a counter attack for game 2. Regieleki. So now we've got different leads: Regieleki, Infernape, Ogerpon, Dragapult. The interactions here are kind of interesting. Right? Because like you can't fake out the Dragapult, so you gotta wonder what he's doing. Is he gonna try and just set up? Is he gonna blast one of these guys? Is he gonna? Sometimes they can spread status, like you can Thunder Wave the Infernape here, and then yeah, obviously this is just gonna whack something because that's what this thing does. So let's roll it out. Follow Me actually doesn't whack anything. Electro Web starts slowing. Overheat crits and kills. I think that I got to imagine that would probably kill. Ogerpon's not exactly especially defensive. That's stab. It's neutral. I'm not positive though how much that crit matters. Slows down the Thundurus, but that doesn't really matter because he's prankstered. I also just noticed that the Electro Web didn't lower this, which means it's Clear Body. I don't know how big of a deal that is, but it is Clear Body, so it's not slow. It's going to continue to... Phantom Force for the Ivy Cudgel miss is funny, but now there's the Tailwind. So it's faster. So actually... Wait a second. Oh, never mind. It's paralyzed, but for a second I thought Double Rock Slide had just played themselves by setting the Tailwind so that they wouldn't be able to attack Dragapult 2 turns in a row. Still could have, but elected instead to kill the Thundurus, which is probably smart before it T-waves your entire team. So here comes Groudon again. He's going to Terra Dragon, Precipice Blades again. Yeah. The Dragon Dart spread is kind of interesting. It doesn't kill anything. Solar Blade is your... Yeah, that's your counterattack to beat the Groudon. It's smart. Unfortunately, Terra Dragon to eat it. Here's Suicune. Ice Beam's the Dragapult. I guess because you have a better chance of killing that than the Groudon. But yeah, this is over. Alright, game 2 goes to Valdens, and so now we will have a riveting game 3. So, slightly different leads. Well, this is the game 1 lead with Shiftry and Groudon. But now you're rocking the Regieleki Ogerpon, so splitting the difference between the 2 leads. No Infernape lead this time, which means that the Shiftry is going to get the Tailwind up. Terra Ice, Terra Dragon, Tailwind, Precipice Blades, kills. Okay, so the Terra Ice there, one assumes, is because he assumes the Tailwind is coming. I can't really stop it with the 2 I have here. Follow Me doesn't work with Precipice Blades, and the Precipice Blades will one-shot a Regieleki. Now, he told me after this game that that Regieleki, when it's Terra Ice, has a 12% chance to die to this Groudon, unless it's banded, which it's not because we know it was Citrus Berry. So there, and then it presumably returns fire with Terra Blast, Ice on the Groudon, and you hope you kill it with a combination of that and Ivy Cudgel, which did 38%. So I'm just saying that because the Double Rock Slide would be mad if I didn't mention that. It is, I mean, and that kind of thing can be a game changer, but Valdens has a known history of rolling the bones and having it work out, and yeah, looks like Precipice Blades is just gonna do it from there. Now I will say you didn't necessarily have to go all in on that Regieleki there. You know, the odds are maybe in your favor, but the odds of it, but like the ways it can go wrong are even harder. But I don't know who has Protect and who doesn't on the team. But there was probably I don't know. Maybe it was just an issue with the leads, but it's tough. But that's Pokemon for you. So the Ledian's Lucky Lads go up to 2-0. Terrapagos Tween Stars go to 1-1. Next we have my match, the Palatine Permafrost, coached by Scout Flower here, versus me, the Snom Hellscream. This is a match that I was pretty nervous about. My matchup isn't too bad. Like, I'm faster than pretty much all of his guys, but he is a very smart team builder. He's really good at making in-game decisions. So I had to be careful not to fall into many traps, and to make sure that I could answer any potential tricks he had for me. So yeah, I guess I could go through all my Pokemon, but I'll just get into it, since I'm doing lots of turn pauses this video anyway. So yeah, so I lead these two expecting a double ice lead. Kyurem Ninetales is just like a really strong lead, but it can be a little scary into an Urshifu, and into Fluttermane, who's faster than everything. So like the goal obviously being try to either kill a Ninetales before it sets up, or before it sets up Aurora Veil, or kill a Kyurem before the Ninetales sets up Aurora Veil, and then worry about the rest of it after. But here we have a Thwackey and a Mesprit. I believe I Terra Steel immediately here because I'm really worried that this Thwackey is going to be able to kill me in one hit with a banded Grassy Glide. So I Terra Steel just to resist it, and hopefully I Wicked Blow into the Mesprit. I get faked out, doesn't matter. I Moonblast into that, hoping it'll kill, but it doesn't. Get to Trick Room setup. I probably should have been more worried about that. But yeah, gets the Trick Room setup. Dazzling Gleam, Quad Weak, deals 90%. Doesn't deal very much to this. Woodhammer goes in, crits 94%. Fluttermane's HP and defense are very, very low, but I do feel like that crit mattered. I haven't run the calc, obviously. I don't know, but I also am pretty sure that since it survived Moonblast, that this is Eviolite. And actually, I know it's not banded because it faked out, right? So it's Eviolite, so it's not banded. Woodhammer is a powerful move. I'm not sure if that kill would have killed through the Terra Steel, otherwise. But still, I'm in a bad spot. Like I said, my team is very, very fast, and now I am in Trick Room. So I send out Colossal, my slow guy, no speed investment on him. He's really slow, and Mewtwo, my champion. Here comes Kyurem with its absurdly high special attack. He's much faster than Mewtwo, or not much faster. He's much stronger than Mewtwo under Trick Room in these circumstances. So I go for Rock Slide. It's super effective, but this thing's beefy. Kind of hoping I can get a flinch here. No dice. Sash breaking Dazzling Gleam. Not that I have a Sash, but he's doing that. Shadow Ball one-shots it. we knew that was coming. Well, I mean, I didn't know that it had Shadow Ball for sure, but like I assumed that some super powerful attack was going to kill my Mewtwo there, and it did. I didn't have Protect on him because I'm stupid. Goes into Poison type to not get punched punched to death, but the Dazzling Gleam kills it anyway. Shadow Ball does not lower the SPF. High Horsepower kills the Kyurem. Dazzling Gleam isn't doing much. This guy doesn't. So Dazzling Gleam, I'm assuming, is this thing's only attacking move, because obviously if you could be using like Psychic or whatever, you would be. So here comes Ninetales. Blizzards gets the freeze, so I'm not able to start heat crashing it, although I wouldn't be able to anyway because I've now just been encored into High Horsepower. Now, let's see how much. So I believe I unfreeze this turn and get the High Horsepower off, so I just want to see how much it does. Thaws, High Horsepowers, crits for 40, so crits are double, right? So if you assume that a regular High Horsepower does 20%, and it took 4 turns of Blizzard Dazzling Gleam to kill my guy, 20, that would be 5 turns before it kills the Ninetales, and then I would still have to kill the Mesprit. So, and it has Levitate. So the freeze did not ultimately matter. So I'm not gonna John about that. Game 1 goes to Scout Flower. The Trick Room monster was strong, and I was unable to use my slow guy to bring it back. So Game 2 does the same leads. So I'm expecting the same leads because like it wasn't broke, don't fix it. But this time, this time I'm trying a little more to. This time I'm gonna try and kill the Mesprit. So I Shadow Ball it. It deals a crap ton of damage. And here's where I mess up a little bit. I Psy Strike, right? So this is a covert cloak Mewtwo. This is why I did this lead, because you can't fake out a ghost type, and because Mewtwo's covert cloaked. It wasn't for Thwacky actually. It was for Sneasler, who he didn't end up bringing. I had a few Sneasler techs that I ended up not needing, but one of them was Covert Cloak. I didn't want to get Dire Clawed to sleep. I didn't want to get faked out. But so first of all, obviously I didn't know the special defense drop was coming, and my other moves are like Power Gem and stuff. So I figure Stab, Psy Strike, even though it resists it, when this is normally a specially defensive mon, and I presume he would have invested in special defense because of Flutter Mane. So I Psy Strike, thinking that it will get the job done and also cover any switches. But it doesn't, so the Trick Room unfortunately gets set up. So I'm in a tough spot here. Once again, switch to my slow guy, Terrifier to beat Thwacky basically. If it would hammers me, but it goes for it on the Flutter Mane. I Calm Mind on this turn. So Terrifier Calm Minded because I assume that the Thwacky is going to go into me, and the Mesprit is either going to switch or it's going to do its like Dazzling Gleam thing. So I Calm Mind, switches the Kyurem, and now I have a special defense boost to not get murdered by it this time. And Terrifier. So Rock Slide goes off. I do get a flinch this time on the Thwacky. So Shadow Ball's the Colossal. So what I'm assuming happened. So I'm assuming this thing was going to attack the Colossal again as well, possibly knocking off its Assault Vest, so that the Shadow Ball would definitely kill it, and then you don't have anyone slow, and then you don't have anyone slower than your guys left for the rest of the match. Here comes Crocodile. This thing is super scary. It doesn't intimidate, so you figure it's Moxie. High Horsepowers, my guy kills him immediately. Now he's Moxied with an attack boost. He's under Trick Room, so he's definitely going to be faster than my Flutter Mane here. So yeah, so he's likely to kill it and get the Moxie attack boost. However, the Rock Slide kills the Mesprit and gets the flinch off, so I'm able to kill it with Moonblast and pick up the win. Now that is a bit unlucky. What I will say is, and Maybe Scout Flower has some speed tiers to show me otherwise, but I had my last Pokemon was Urshifu, and this was the Trick Room's last turn. So yes, if he hadn't been flinched, he definitely would have killed this and gotten another boost. But I would have close combated him next turn and killed him. And his Terra was already expended, was it not? Oh, it wasn't actually. So never mind. He had a Terra there. So that flinch was actually huge. So my bad. I got lucky. So I luck hack game 2. Anyhow, here we go. Game 3. So this time, so I run the same leads as the last time, and this time runs the ice lead. Now, I was prepared. Like I said, I was prepared for the ice lead, with my Sunny Day, Fluttermane here. So yeah, so just one thing to remember: all Protosynthesis Pokemon, so all Paradox Pokemon from Pokemon Scarlet have Sunny Day. Just like all future Paradox Mons from Violet, all Quark Drive Pokemon have Electric Terrain. They can set their own stuff, and then you use a booster energy to outspeed the Ninetales, or well, to outspeed whatever it is you need. So I get the Sunny Day off to prevent the Aurora Veil, and I'm reasonably certain. I'm reasonably certain that the Kyurem is going to either Shadow Ball or Protect. So I Calm Mind, knowing that I'm faster. Knowing I can live the Shadow Ball, Sunny Day to prevent the Aurora Veil, and it works. Pulls the guy. Now this was a good switch. Pulls the Ninetales to be able to set the ice again. Sends out Crook to eat the Psychic attack after the Terra Poison, because you were worried about obviously Terra Poison because you're worried about a Moonblast from Fluttermane. But yeah, so eats the Psy Strike, but unfortunately, my Mewtwo is faster than everything. There's no Trick Room this time, so I Terra Ghost. I'm not entirely sure why I do that. Honestly, not really sure why I Terra Ghosted there. I should have, because, like, yeah, maybe he is planning on high horsepowering this because it's quad weak, but he probably was just going to look to kill this Mewtwo. And I didn't want to Terra Fire in case he, like, high horsepowers. He's probably going to crunch. But anyway, my Focus Blast hits. It kills the Crocodile. Heat Crash doesn't quite kill the Ninetales. It sets Aurora Veil, but that's not enough to protect from a +1 Psy Strike, and down goes Kyurem. Yeah, so yeah, Thwackey not gonna be able to do the full cleanup here. That was the lead that I was ultimately ready for more than the Trick Room one. So yeah, big props to Scout Flower for finding a way to put himself in a really strong position in those first 2 games, and I really had to like claw and even get a little lucky to get out of there in game 2. So yeah, that puts me at 2-0 on the season, and the Palatine Permafrost go to 1-1. But I promise we have not heard the last of them. So next we have the Balanleia Barbies versus the Tangletown Tatsugiri, both 0-1 teams. Calyrex Ice Rider, with the possible Trick Room setups to get its version of Grimnay going, and of course we've got the fast side of the spectrum with the Swift Swim Basculegion here, and then on the other side, Water Absorb Ogerpon is a big deal here. It's unfortunate that it's a Water Absorb Mon with a flying weakness, with a Pelipper there. I like Baby Whimsicott here. 2 NFEs is kind of interesting. You got to assume that the Eviolite's on the Cottony, although it could be sashed. And then Bisharp maybe is just going to be full on offensive. Chiampao also very scary into this team. Let's see how it goes. So let's see. Calyrex, Clefairy, into Ogre Pawn Chien Pao. So 2 Follow Me users and 2 really strong ice types. Anything can happen here. With the Chien Pao Sword of Ruin ability, getting through this Clefairy could prove not as difficult. Maybe you go with a bold, no Follow Me double attack play here. Let's see what happens. Immediately switches to Yuxi. Ivy Cudgels, sets the Trick Room. I think a double attack into the Clefairy was the better play there instead of the Yuxi switch. Now, you probably assuming you see this, you're like, oh, Trick Room's definitely getting set up, so I might as well get like a slow support guy in here, but I'm not quite sure. Let's see what this Yuxi does. I think a double attack into the Clefairy was the play for sure. Like, how is your Chien Pao gonna die there? The Glacial Lance, yeah, Glacial Lance isn't gonna kill it. Oof. Oof, Helping Hand Glacial Lance is so strong. It's so strong! Kills everything. Why is this sleep? Oh, yawned, that's why. So I guess, so you wanted to get the switch to Yuxi to yawn out the Trick Room turns. I kind of get that. You Terra Water the Bisharp. Assurance there. Ivy Cudgel kills the Arcanine. You Terra Fire while still asleep to make sure the Assurance doesn't kill you. You Power Whip doesn't kill, that's unfortunate. The Wood Hammer also doesn't kill. The Recoil doesn't kill either. Wow, there must be very little offensive investment on this Ogre Pawn. That was wild. But unfortunately, you only bought yourself a turn. The Ivy Cudgel will finish it off, and now you've got this matchup, which isn't going to be helpful. So, yeah, I was kind of wrong about Bart Seabass here. The Tangletown Tatsugiri. I was wrong about that switch turn 1. The yawn to preserve health on the Chien Pao and to burn out the remaining Trick Room turns at the sacrifice of Ogre Pawn and Yuxi was a good trade. Trading 2 Pokemon for 1 rarely seems like a good trade, which is where I was coming from. But in this case, because of who was in the back and how useful the Chien Pao was out of the Trick Room, it made more sense. So yeah, smart play. Let's see how game 2 goes. Boundlea Barbies leads off with the Water Core this time. Leads off with Yuxi Regigigas. Oh, I remember this. So, wide guards to... Why does he wide guard there? Is he worried about Surf? Yawns the Pelipper. Pelipper Tailwinds. So now this thing is ridiculously fast. It might even be adaptability, you don't know. Wide guards again. The ally switch is really funny. Eats that Weather Ball for breakfast. Now this thing's asleep. The high jump kick, unfortunately, will kill it. I thought I remembered this, but this isn't what I thought I remembered. My bad. Terra Steals. This ally switch is really funny. Protects the Chien Pao from the high jump kick. Ice Spinner does nothing. Good Terra Steel. So now you don't have the redirect with the ally switch. I think it's interesting that Raigio didn't play around the ally switch. I'm not saying interesting like in that way that people often say it, where it's like where I'm veiling a criticism. Because that's not a criticism. I never know how to play around ally switch. And we just saw an instance earlier of someone playing into something, then not playing into it and getting screwed both times. So just like steaming full force ahead, especially knowing that you'll kill the Yuxi if it does ally switch, that no matter what, it's picking up a kill. I like that. I like that play. Even if the Chien Pao is still alive, like you covered your bases with the Terra Steel. Pelipper's up now. Your Tailwind isn't anymore, but I think that was a good play. Unfortunately, it's packing Brick Break. I'm not sure why Brick Break instead of Sacred Sword. I don't see any screen setters on this team, but maybe there's something on the Boundlea Barbie's bench that I am not remembering right now. Now you have no rain. So it's Calyrex. So this Qian Pao has been kind of going nuts, killing guys, but you saved the most important for last, and you have Terra, so there is likely a crunch coming here. But I think Calyrex can survive maybe a crunch, and also you can't hit both of them, and this Pelipper is especially offensive, as we saw. Throat Chop instead of Crunch. Again, not really sure why. Hurricane confuses it. High horsepower kills. So yeah. Good game 2 from Raigio. Holds powder on the Calyrex this time. Instead of running the Trick Room strategy, just weakens all the support until you can just essentially 1v1 it. Good play there. So game 3, a lot of game 3s this week, which is exciting. It's going to make this video like 5 hours long. So, all right, yeah, this is the turn I was thinking of here, right? So Cottony uses Worry Seed, replaces Slow Start with Insomnia. It's kind of like the Wheezing strategy, except it doesn't go away when Cottony dies. It just goes away when Regigigas switches. Hydro Pump does a bunch of damage. So due to the fact that this is Tailwind Pelipper, it leads me to believe, so it's either one of two things, and either this is a Specs Basculegion with Swift Swim, or it is an Adaptability Basculegion with a different item. Because I don't think Specs Adaptability I don't think there's a world where this thing lives otherwise. So it uses Terra Blast, does 30. So, okay, so here it was explained what happened here in the Discord. So, because he was thinking, so did the Worry Seed not remove? Did the Worry Seed not remove the effects of Slow Start? Like, does Slow Start triggering start the 5-turn count, not the ability continuing for 5 turns? And because otherwise, why would a Stab Terra Blast, even though he's not Terra'd, only do 30% when he's got his full attack? And the answer is Worry Seed does remove the Slow Start. You are at your full power. However, Terra Blast only changes to a physical move if you're terastallized and your attack is higher than your special attack. If you're not terastallized, and the wording on the ability itself in Showdown is kind of unclear on this, but if you're not terastallized, then it's always a special attack, which is kind of messed up. But yeah, and so that's what happened here. Anyway, now the Tailwind is set. That's why he says, "Whoa, that is a bulky Pelipper." No, that's actually just a really weak move you used on your worst stat. Sorry, mate. Wide Guard again. I'm not sure what this Wide Guard is supposed to be blocking. It's a mystery. It's continuing to Hydro Pump, so maybe this is choiced. If it Hydro Pumps here, for sure it's choiced. Although it might just die to a Sucker Punch. Oh, you can't! Because of the Queenly Majesty. Great switch. Okay, yes. This thing is choiced. It's dead. Here comes Pelipper and Serena. He's just going on a throat-chopping frenzy. Rocky Helmet does some damage. The Terra Ghost beats the high jump kick. Now you're in trouble. Here comes a Brick Break. Okay, so Raigio is not terastallized, and I don't think we have seen what this Calyrex... Have we seen what this Calyrex is? Was it fire in game 1? I don't remember, but like now... Yep, it was fire. So... Yeah, you need that. Yes. We saw it in game 1 because this thing was assurance spamming. Also, just for the record, I think instead of assurance, Iron Head on this is probably the move. But you know, if you know he's Terra-firing, fair play. Sucker Punch fails on the Protect. I don't really know what you can do here though. These guys are so beefy. Yeah. Now all you can do is like try to mind games out the Sucker Punch turns. This is anyone who's ever played singles against a King Gambit knows this game, right? He's going to he has 5 Sucker Punch turns left. but also he's faster than you, so you set the Trick Room. See, that Sucker Punch there was the wrong play. Now you have Sucker Punch Mind Games. See, now your final 4 Sucker Punches have to be used on all of these Trick Room turns, or you have to play in the Mind Game. So here comes the Mind Game. So you Sucker Punch, continues to use Protect. This time goes for the attack, thinking he's not going to Sucker Punch again, but does. But I think there was a misplay on the turn where he sets Trick Room and he Sucker Punches. You're faster than the Calyrex. So on that turn, when he has 7% health and you're faster, you should just attack him with something else. You just hit him with Assurance or Brick Break. It doesn't matter which. Because the only thing his only out was to set Trick Room that turn, which he did. And so yeah, you just attack him. He sets the Trick Room. Now you're in this position where your last 4, you use your Sucker Punch number 3. So now you have, or number 4. So you have 4 Sucker Punches left, and now you're in this tough spot. Anyway, but picks it up, puts himself in that good position, and wins it. Tangletown Tatsugiri go to 1-1. Balanlea Barbies go to 0-2. Next game. Sorry, this is gonna be way longer than the last one. I'm less tired and way more into this, and I'm gonna be rambling. Hope you enjoy this. Next we have the Venerable Vault Vaporizers versus the Grandview Grand Bulls. Venerable Vault Vaporizers 1-0 from off a win last week, and the Grandview Grand Bulls 0-1. Yeah, we've got the Necrozma Duskmane, we've got the Necrozma, or the Landorus Therian, Dragonite, powerful combos there. You've got Gastrodon to help protect Landorus a bit, and funny enough, you've got Trevenant to help protect Gastrodon, along with all the other grass resists on this team. Sylveon, kind of an underrated mon. It's been massively outclassed by other mons since Regulation E, but in Regulation E it was pretty solid if you didn't want to run Flutter Mane. I guess Regulation D, huh? And in Regulation D it was pretty good. Anywho, on this side we have Zacian Crowned. These other guys are all really strong, but on this side we have Zacian Crowned, and that's what you got to deal with. So let's see if he does. Annihilate, Grafaiai. Annihilate, great lead into presumably a Landorus here, because Landorus has Intimidate. It's gonna wanna hit this Zacian and blow its Intrepid Sword. So you pull off the Defiant Annihilate, and there it is. Now you've got a +1 Terra Water Annihilate about to go ham on you. Ice Punch, destroyed. Parting Shot comes out. Here comes Walking Wake. Aardvark's Pokemon still yet to take damage. Has 2 kills. Final Gambit crushes. It's dead. The Sylveon just the Hyper Voice just one-shots the Walking Wake. Why is it? It's Parting Shotted into the Walking Wake, and then the Hyper Voice got it. Says, shit, meant to click Zacian. I'm sure you did, buddy. I know, probably. You know what quad resists it. So, yeah, here he is. Yeah, both of your guys get super effectively hit by this, and you got to assume something else is getting Parting Shotted and weakened. So, what do? I'm not quite sure. Behemoth Blade, yep, one-shots the guy. Foul Play. Okay, break the multi-scale. Fire Punch, dealing a decent amount, but not enough. Would have liked to have seen an Earthquake, but yeah. But you don't want to hurt your own guys, I get it. But when you have a Landorus Therian over there, and over here you have like Trevenant and Gastrodon, running Earthquake on that guy might not have been a bad idea. given that he has a few guys weak to it and only one guy that resists and one guy immune. I'm not sure. But yeah. Defiant Annihilate to eat the Intimidates coming for the Zacian is a strong play, and then you just whip around into him and crush. It's a really smart play there from the Venerable Vault Vaporizers. Let's see how Game 2 goes. So this time it's a Moltres Annihilate lead. Learned the lesson last time, doesn't lead Landorus. Ice Punch only deals 50%. Flamethrower, so prevents the Trick Room setup, but does get a Reflect up. I assume that that's what this Trevenant is here for, is Trick Room. Possibly there to Strength Sap, but you can't Strength Sap Annihilate, but it activates the same Defiant thing, so you don't want to do it. Excuse me. But yeah, so now, once again, Screwy Drew is down a Pokemon without having damaged any of Aardvark's Pokemon. Final Gambit takes that out again. Interesting. So like last time the Final Gambit killed, so Final Gambit doing killing the guy again. I know. So like it's tough. You know the Final Gambit's gonna kill your guy because it did last time, right? And I know you're thinking like, oh, he was 1.5 before, and now I'm behind a Reflect, but it works like Nightshade damage. It deals a fixed amount based on the health of the Pokemon that sacrifices itself. So yeah, so Aardvark knew that the Final Gambit was always killing this Necrozma. So after that game 1, probably needed to find a way to kill it before sending in this or protecting. So let's sets up the other screen. Here comes Gastrodon. Gastrodon does kind of match well into this, but it has to 1v3 here, which is very tough. So like, yeah, you can kill this Moltres. Maybe. Muddy Water to try and get some... Oh, no! The crit! Ah, okay. I mean, it's still pretty bad, but I wanted to see it play out. It's still a pretty bad position. I wanted to see it play out. The crit ending what could have been a hilarious Muddy Water RNG fest. Poor Gastrodon. And the Venerable Vault Vaporizers go up to 2-0, and the Grandview Grambles go to 0-2. Well played from Aardvark there, just offensive domination. It's going to be a tough team to beat. Next we have the San Juan Sphinxes versus Jackson's Jacked Sons. The San Juan Sphinxes are 1-0. The scary Terapagos team. Jackson's Jacked Sons. The Zamazenta Crowned. The Delphox came up big last week. We'll see if it does again. Another reminder that this is Urshifu Water here. So, yeah. Getting through, you got some guys to help you get through the Golden Go, which helps protect the Terapagos, alongside, the rest of these other guys. You got the Intimidating Gyarados, the Sableye for possible screens and stuff. So you got to figure out how to get through the defensive stuff so that you can start doing work on the Terapagos. But like, it's tough because you brought a somewhat defensive team yourself with the Amoonguss, the Cresselia, and so like your speed control here is a little tough, but so is the same thing on the other side. It seems like speed control is possibly not the biggest thing here. It's who can get through whose beef first. We'll see if maybe status comes into play. So here we have the Golden Go and the Sableye, double Ghost lead, which seems strong into his Zamazenta, especially in his Zamazenta and Amoonguss. So Taunt on the Amoonguss, pretty strong. Let's see. Oh! Switches into the Wisp is tough. Poisons the Gyarados. It's called AV all the time. Maybe it is AV again. Golden goes here. Reflect goes up. So these Surging Strikes not do a ton of damage. Neither will that. The poison is lucky. Gets a little lucky there. Burns the Amoonguss, because why not? Seems like this Sableye is just going to sit out here and keep being annoying till it dies. Setting up with the Golden Go. Finally takes down the Sableye. Gyarados comes in, intimidates. Like, because the Golden Go is getting the nasty plot set up for free. You're going to be able to just really start ripping through Terapagos answers. So, like, even if you're able to quickly turn this around, you know what's coming in the back, right? Trying to do the same thing with Zamazenta. Good Fire Blast there. Go for it all. But unfortunately, the Protect prevents it from dying. Let's see what Gyarados here. Gets a Thunder Wave. Now it's slower. And it's Psychic type, so the Shadow Ball would just murder it. This Burn Surging Strikes, just really having a tough time dealing with this Golden Go. So yeah, now your Zamazenta's below half. Now your Zamazenta's below half health, which is, and like that's the thing. Your two main Terapagos answers here are going to be Zamazenta and Urshifu, and one's burned and the other's at half health and doesn't have his +1 defense item anymore. And you also can't Terra in front of Terapagos, so you have to make sure that you have non-Terra ways of killing it. Now your remaining check is paralyzed. And you still have a 2.5 special attack Golden Go on the field, so I don't see a way through this. So I just really got to give credit to Flaccid Panda here for really setting up his win con to succeed in this game. Just holds it back while creating another immediate threat while using the other two guys to just weaken stuff, to just prevent those threats from being a problem to Terapagos later, even if they're able to punch through the Golden Go. So let's see what happens next. This time doesn't lead the Golden Go, runs the Gyarados to weaken the Urshifu. Oof. I don't know why I'm yawning all the damn time. So I would like to see a Clear Amulet on this Urshifu. If you on any fighting type planning on going against this Terapagos should pack a freaking Clear Amulet going forward, because because if you put all your eggs in that sort of basket and then he just starts like playing around with it like this, then you can end up in this position where you're having to just do awkward switches into these Will-O-Wisps. The Wakan Berry with the... Oh my gosh, it's so BM. These Gyarados builds that he does, they're so silly. Comes out, taunts the Cresselia. This Cresselia's kind of doing offensive stuff. Switches on the Spore, good as gold, saves it. It has a Mental Herb, so I guess not. If it has a Mental Herb, it must have Trick Room or something. It's not fully offensive. Here comes the Gyarados. Intimidates again. Sends out the Scizor. Terra Flyings. Not sure what's up with that, but okay. God. I think that kills anyway. I don't think the crit matters there. Not quite sure what Terra Ground's there for, but okay. Temper Flare. He packed that as a Scizor answer? That's kind of funny. Ice Punch kills. Urshifu's dead. They're both dead. So now it's Zamazenta versus the world. Oh wait, Zamazenta wasn't brought. It's Amoonguss versus the world. Yeah. You hate to see it. It seems that the Jacked Suns kind of just rolled over and died for this one, but this team is so scary. It's so scary. You know, how do you prep for this Terapagos while also not getting just completely disabled by the rest of these supports? It's gonna be tough to see, but yeah, that's a 2-0 for the San Juan Sphinxes. I don't think they've dropped a game yet. This Terapagos has yet to die in the draft league, so we'll see how that goes. Next up, we have the Vancouver Villains versus the BC Beyond. Two Vancouver-themed teams going head-to-head. So we got different Dragon Box legendaries in Miraidon and Dialga. You've got interesting Unburden, Hawlucha, Rillaboom synergy here. Last time we saw like a Volcarona Oricorio combo, but the Oricorio is missing this time in favor of the Hawlucha. Tinglu looks pretty good in this matchup, other than the fact that Iron Valiant is very, very scary, and especially it can be activated by this Miraidon. That's a strong combo. I like the Ursaluna Blood Moon as a first of all, just as a possible Trick Room counter if that was the direction BMM went. Doesn't look like it, but maybe if Sinistcha has Trick Room, you could obviously, a team with Miraidon is not often one that wants to set Trick Room, but you could see, like, if you're really worried about Volcarona pulling something sort of off there. So I like the Blood Moon to also sort of help cover that. I like looking at this. I'm not even sure who I would favor. Probably on paper the Miraidon team, but like that's a whole Volcarona there that could get further defensive with a Grassy Seed, although probably not because the Hawlucha is likely the one with the seed. Let's see what happens. We have Corviknight and Miraidon. Leading Miraidon's pretty. I think Miraidon. I think MFS Giant led Miraidon a lot, or not a lot. There's only been one other match, but in the last match, I think Miraidon was led several times. It's just it's strong. It sets the electric terrain to get your guys going. Although it's ballooned right now, which is kind of funny. While it's got the balloon on, it can be put to sleep. Not that I don't think Rillaboom learns Sleep Powder, so moot point. But it is just kind of a funny interaction that with this balloon, this thing could be put to sleep. So could Corviknight for that matter, because it's flying type. Because you can't be put to sleep in electric terrain. Rillaboom, Dialga here. You gotta imagine this balloon's getting popped on a fake out, but you gotta be worried that a brave bird could just kill this thing in one hit. So does the Rillaboom stay? Does the Dialga do something to help prevent that? Let's see what happens. It's lead favors the Giant a little bit here. I'm stupid. Obviously the Surge is gonna come out after that. This is why you don't pause till the turn's over. Bulk Up. Interesting pick. I think you should have just switching to the Sinistcha to eat the fake out. Great move. Especially after your electric terrain's gone, you're gonna want to reset it, and you don't want your balloon to get popped for nothing. So just run it back. The Bulk Up seems kind of greedy. On paper. You resist both of Dialga's stabs, but that's a whole box legendary there, and I'm sure it has more up its sleeve. And Rillaboom is just a really good threat to get rid of. I think maybe Brave Bird was the play there turn one, but I might be wrong. I've been wrong before. So there is a Trick Room setup, a Terra Grass to help ignore the Rage Powder. See, I keep pausing at the wrong times. Let's see. Terra Grass to avoid the Rage Powder, but now you can get killed by a Brave Bird. The Flamethrower goes off. Yep, there's the Brave Bird. It's slower than everything. That was smart to keep this thing slow. 556. Yeah. No speed investment on the Corviknight was smart. Again, I think instead of bulking up, if you just killed the Rillaboom turn one, I bet since you're gonna be faster than the Dialga under Trick Room, the two Brave Birds would have killed it. But you don't know it's gonna Terra Grass, so fair. Alright, so we set the terrain again. Now you get the Quark Drive on the Iron Valiant. It has attack. Stomping Tantrums into the balloon. That's an oopsie. Gets low kicked for his trouble. Sets the terrain again, so Iron Valiant's Quark Drive is gone. It doesn't have a booster energy. Why would it when you have Miraidon? Spirit Break doesn't quite kill, but deals a lot. Trick Room's over, so let's see what happens. Floral Healing, interesting. Grassy Glide, will that kill Valiant? It won't. Snarl, kind of a greedy play. Oh no! Wait! This whole thing just got turned on its head. Like this looked like an easy win for the Miraidon, and then you go Snarl to try and prevent it from getting killed by like a Dazzling Gleam or something, and I get that, but the Floral Healing makes it so that this play no longer kills the Rillaboom, and now the Grassy Glide kills this. Draining Kiss deals very little after that Snarl. The Grassy Glide kills. Let's see what Miraidon does here. Draco Meteor. That's tough. That's so tough. Okay, so now you're going to lower your special attack here, right? So, like, how much is Electro Drift going to do now? Oh, Volt Switch. Oh, he doesn't have Electro Drift, does he? Volt Switch is his strongest move right now. So you taunt it to prevent it from Calm Minding anymore. Ooh, this is going to be a grind fest. So it Calm Minded to negate the effect to the Snarl. So obviously you have to Snarl again. But they can keep Calm Minding. So Calm Mind has 32 PP, Snarl has 24. So eventually you run out. This thing doesn't have... it doesn't have leftovers, but it does have Draining Kisses and Floral Healing. So it does have 32 PP worth of heals. So I think in the end it wins. Yeah. The Terrafly hoping to reduce the healing gained, but it's just not enough. And you can keep Snarling, but he'll just keep Calm Minding. So yeah, effectively walled. That's wild. Okay, so yeah, I was wondering why. So you know it's Draco Meteor, Snarl, Volt Switch, Taunt. I was wondering why not Electro Drift the Rillaboom, and that's why, because the Volt Switch probably would not have killed it. That's probably correct. So you have to Draco Meteor it, but then that puts you so far behind on special attack that it can out heal you with Draining Kiss and Floral Healing. That was quite a turnaround. I did not think BMM was going to win that one. And I saw this match, and I couldn't even... I saw this match when it was live, and rewatching it, I forgot that he won this because I was like... Because it seemed clear to me that MFSJ was going to win. So BMM, great game one. So let's see. So we got Torracat, Corviknight, doesn't lead the Miraidon this time, because he knows that the Grassy Surge is just gonna activate it. So you've got an Unburdened Hawlucha here. You've got an Unburdened Hawlucha here. You know it's going to be fast as balls, but it's thankfully -1 attack, and so like it can't. You probably can't kill either of these guys, especially Corviknight. I think that's the one you fake out. I know Rillaboom just kind of did one over on you in the last game, but I think you fake that out because you're worried about a Swords Dance, perhaps. Unless you're just Brave Birding it. Let's see. Fake that out, flinch. Acrobatics does nothing. Okay, that's the one you do Brave Bird. Doesn't kill, thanks to the Grassy Seed, but hey, that's really good damage. Encore's the fake out. That's hilarious. Knockoff knocks off the leftovers. Oh, this thing is Life Orb. Uh-oh. No kills yet. These Brave Birds aren't quite packing the punch you want. Double attack, saves it, burns the Terra. That's rough. The Life Orb puts him at 1%, and the Grassy Terrain puts it back up. That's not something I realized was a... not something I realized was a strategy, the Life Orb Grassy Terrain setter. A lot of Rillabooms on ladder run like Sash, or they run Band. A lot of them like to run Band for U-turn. Wow. Interesting start here. Hard switches to Dialga, protects there. So this thing's still unburdened, but it's got very little. So it's got very little attack. So you've got to imagine it's just here to encore, try and encore the fake out again, which it won't do anything. Yeah. Terra Grasses, Terra Blast. Ah, haha. Not sashed, does 99% damage. So gotta feel bad about that. But now a Grassy Glide is coming, hopefully on the Valiant. Nope, on the Torracat, does very little. Let's see what Val does here. Spirit Break, start lowering that special attack. It's Clear Amulet! Oh, wait, no it's not. No it isn't. It isn't Clear Amulet because I got hit by Intimidate. Why did Spirit Break not lower its special attack? What am I missing here? His ability is Pressure? Right? Maybe I'm missing something here. This thing doesn't have, like, Sheer Force, does it? No, it has Quark Drive. Oh. Someone smarter than me is going to have to tell me why that Spirit Break didn't lower his special attack. I thought it was a 100% chance. So here we are, once again, with Comfey versus the world. Now this time, this thing does have moves that can hit it neutrally. However, it is an NFE, and this thing is very defensive. He does not quite have the offensive stats of a... oh, here we are again. Parting Shot does have... Okay, Parting Shot... He does have more Parting Shot PP than Comfey has Calm Mind PP. But how do you kill it? Your own Flare Blitzes hurt you. Ooh, that was a lot, actually. Damn, close one. Yeah. I feel like, yeah. I somehow both under and overestimated both of these guys at several points throughout this battle. They both defied my expectations. They both had really interesting strategies. They both had specific ways that they were looking to address the other person's strengths, which is really something you love to see in a Pokemon game, right? So like on this side, you've clearly got this like bulk up Corviknight to deal with Hawlucha and Rillaboom and even sort of Dialga to some extent. You've got this Torracat to just cycle against the Parting Shot cycle against physical attackers. And you've got Sinistcha to beat the fake outs and to take advantage of the grassy terrain. This is probably your Ting-Lu answer as well. Not that it really ended up mattering that much. And then on this side, you had this Comfey to beat Miraidon, and the Dialga to beat Ursaluna and not Valiant. So yeah, I don't know. I liked these sets. I liked the strategies. The Vancouver villains will fall to 1-1, and the BC Beyond will go up to 1-1. All right, we got two more sets. Bear with me. So here we have the Once a Peps, coached by Once a Pep, versus the Trubbish Goblins under coach Karate here. Karate is a classic Registeel enjoyer, so I'm really glad that they brought it. This Iron Jugulus put in a heck of a lot of work last week, even though didn't end up winning the set. The Jugulus performance was exciting. So, and this time the Iron Moth was brought. So we got two really powerful Paradox Pokemon. You don't know which one's going to be packing the booster energy, so that can make it hard to prep for. And then, you go all in on that, and then Rayquaza can come in and do some scary stuff. Off the rip, this Swampert looks kind of useless. It doesn't hit anything super well here. Like, it can Ice Punch Giratina, but Giratina's going to take a non-stab Ice Punch every day of the week. And like, yeah, you can super effectively hit Glamora, but like Glamora's like not very hard to kill. The problem is that it kills you first, and everything else here doesn't give two craps about Swampert. So that's unfortunate, but so yeah, like on paper, I would say that that Once a Pep has the just initial advantage here because it's like it's tough for a lot of these guys to just break through some of these. There's a lot of unfavorable resistances. That being said, Unaware Dondozo, Unaware does not, to my understanding, does not work with Quark Drive. So the Quark Drive boost on the Pokemon will hit the Dondozo even if it's unaware. So he is a lot less useful this time around. We saw him carry hard last week, but this time it's probably not going to be him. So let's see. So we've got Jugulus and Swampert into this. Okay, so right now I'm remembering. This is the minimize. This is the minimize psychic seed from last time. Doubling into the protect is tough here. You're presumably expecting a follow me, right? But if you're expecting a follow me, double into the Drifblim would be my suggestion. But yeah, so the whole thing, it's the psychic seed to give it the SPF. It's unburdened, so you get the minimize off before anyone can hit you, and now it gets harder for them to hit you, and you can cheese that way. And we also saw last time him baton pass onto the Giratina, onto the Dondozo, I mean. So yeah, here comes the spam. Eats the Colbur Berry. Just focus. Oh, gets the flinch. That's helpful. Flip turn misses thanks to evasion. Starts to get rough here. The minimize continues. Oh no. This is such a cheese. The knockoff hits through the minimize. Unfortunately, it doesn't do that much damage because it has already consumed its item. Knockoff misses again. Strength Sap heals it back to full. Karate's in hell a little bit here. Paralyzed gets the Narnar. Meteor Beam will finish it off. Flip turn misses again. Here comes Iron Moth in all its glory. Quark Drive special attack. Gets Thunder Waved immediately. And then Power Gemmed for the kill. Yeah, that's the trouble with, like, it's hard to not get special attack Iron Moth just because of the way its speed works, but if there's a way to get it sped up, that would have been helpful. Because, yeah, that happened. Really good job playing with speed tiers here from Once a Pep. Really understanding how you can get the kills on really fast guys if you layer things appropriately. So yeah, I don't think this Florges is going to be able to pull off this 1v3. And so yeah, the minimized Drifblim scams another one. Always brings these clef keys, but never uses them. I'm curious. I don't know what kind of clef key he likes to build. All right, same leads. So I think Karate. I'm assuming it's same leads because Karate sort of feels like they got robbed on that last one. You know, there's a. It's like, oh, my problem was I doubled into the Indeedee and it got protect and I was just behind from there, and then so like a combination of not doing that and getting slightly better rolls should work this time around. So let's see if that plays out. Sorry about that. All right. This time it's follow me minimize instead of protect. Smart, understanding that that Karate knows what happened last time, so you get the double attack off. It doesn't kill. You protect this time. The second minimize, protect gets it. Flip turn misses. It's looking like a repeat of the last game. Protect gets the double protect. That's BS. Gets the third minimize off. Gets the Thunder Wave. Yeah, this is looking exactly like a repeat of the last one. Sends out the Florges this time. Full paralysis. Tough. Doesn't even get the chance to get the hit. Switches on the Thunderwave for the immunity, which is nice. Meteor Beam will kill Jugulus again. That's all it's done so far is get Thunderwave and Meteor Beam, which is unfortunate. But now, okay, hang on. So now you have Rayquaza here, or Gayquaza as they are called for the moment. It can't get Meteor Beam to this turn because the Power Herb was used. Does it also have Power Gem? Did it use that in the previous turn? I don't remember. Let's see. Thunderwave immunity. No, it's Earth Powering. Earth Power? Earth Power on the Switch? What? It's a weird Earth Power choice, but it works, I guess. Baton passes to the Giratina. There it is. Dragon Ascent kills the Glamora. Okay, so Karate with a Mon lead for the first time. Some strategic switching really working out for them. Now you're getting your guys toxic though, so be careful. Thunderwave. Okay, so that's paralyzed. The paralyzed Wisp into the same guy. I'm not sure what's up with that. In case one of them misses, just want to really make sure its status so you can start firing off hexes, I suppose. Strength Sap on the guy so that high horsepower does a lot less. The Terra Steel to block the Dazzling Gleam, I suppose. Strength Sap continuing to frustrate. Flip turns back into Rayquaza here. Hopefully not on another Strength Sap. Oh, wait. No, you flip turned. It wasn't a hard switch. My bad. Dragon Ascent kills it, so no more Strength Saps. That's good. And you can switch back into Swampert. No, you can't switch back into Swampert now because that thing is dead. But yeah, now you just got to hit this thing that has 3x evasion. Wisps Rayquaza, that's tough. High horsepower hits through the 3 evasion, and boom. See, that's the thing with that minimize strategy, is that, like, it's not a sure thing. And it can put your opponent on tilt, but if your opponent doesn't tilt, and your opponent plays to their outs like Karate just did, then eventually the turns can swing in their favor, and you get a little crunched like that. I mean, it was high horsepower, not the move crunch. Ha 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 ha. So yeah, Karate takes it to game 3. Learns from their mistakes, and by mistakes I mean low rolls. So let's see how it goes this time. So this time no lead with Iron Jugulus. This time leads with the Florges. Here we have no Psychic Seed lead. We have Klefki Dondozo, which seems to match okay into this, but I'm not sure exactly what they do in return. Sets up Reflect, Skill Swap, Unaware, Symbiosis. That's kind of funny. I'm not quite sure what it's for. Like, alright. Like, it's not Unaware anymore, but I'm not sure what the Unaware was for. Maybe if Karate's worried about the interaction with Quark Drive, but like I said, I don't think it ignores Quark Drive. Swords Dance on Rayquaza, that's cool. It's unfortunately Thunderwaved. Once a Pep spread in Thunderwave, bringing 2 fellas with Thunderwave is mean. That's very mean. But, oh wow, the surprise Avalanche. Quad weak to it. The Swords Dance Rayquaza does not get to fire off an attack. That's unfortunate. I was going to ask how it's faster than I remembered. It's not. These turns are out of order. This is why I ran things on slow last time. But if I'd run it on slow, this video would be 5 hours long. Okay, so we have a Terra Grass here to empower the Energy Ball. That would have killed if the light screen wasn't up. So well screened from the Klefki. I was calling for it, and there it was. Terra Poison, smart. Maybe a turn too late. Your guy's already super weak, but you do resist stabs from both these guys. So that is a turn. So I guess it does buy you 1 extra turn that the Dondozo would otherwise have died, and you get the revenge with Avalanche. So what the hell do I know? I thought it was a bad Terra at the time, but now it turns out it was actually exactly the right Terra, because now he doesn't get to attack your Giratina this turn, because he has to spend a turn attacking that, and now Scuba does 2. Mons he has to kill. Wisp missing. Wow. Wisp missing might be huge there. Hang on. If that... Going for a second Wisp is kind of insane there. That knockoff might have killed if it... Oh, I guess it was only attacking move is Hex. Thunderwave, Hex, Will-O-Wisp was the last one. Protect, maybe? I'm sure we saw what it was. But that was a really good set. That Swampert actually, you know, it put in more work than I thought it was going to do. Jugulis ended up being the dead weight because the Meteor Beam was just so oppressive against it, and Karate knew that they wanted to use their Terra on somebody else. So, like, using it defensively on Iron Jugulis to only take 60% from a Meteor Beam didn't seem worth it. So, I understand not bringing it in that last match, as good as it matches into Giratina. But yeah, once a Pep's kind of cheesing a victory a bit, although the just full screens defensive squad with coverage moves was earnest and deserved there. Great set. Once a Peps goes to 0-2, Trubbish Goblins goes to 0-2. So let's move into the last set of the week. This one just happened yesterday. It was a bit delayed for normal reasons. Just happens. So, but we're here now. Glad it happened instead of the auto forfeit rules. These teams are both lost their week 1 games and are looking for revenge with their honestly both have absurdly strong teams. Like, I know it's funny to look at Orthworm and Doug Trio, but like that's a Koraidon, that's a Necrozma, Dawn Wings, Gouging Fire, Chiyu, even like last season, Hisui Typhlosion put in a lot of work. You've got competitive Empoleon to scare away this Intimidator, and then on this side, this Mimikyu, this Mimikyu put in some work against Rai last week, even though Hallie lost, and Iron Bundle is ridiculously strong. And Illumise, while not my favorite prankster user, and I will say every week until I'm proven wrong by it outperforming that it doesn't belong in the tier it's in. It's still an immediate tailwind threat and something you have to keep an eye out for. I'm curious. There's so many fire types on this team. You gotta feel like good if you're the team with Iron Bundle and Doug Trio, except you have Orthworm. Earth Eaten to help protect, and you've got Koraidon Setting Sun for free, so to cut water moves effectively in half, and your Empoleon checks not really Arcanine. It gets kind of messed up by it, and sort of Doug Trio. So I'm not sure. I would say on paper, Hallie's team is probably like stronger in this matchup, but it does look like Phony Spade has a lot of answers to it. Leads with Doug Trio Iron Bundle. I'm not positive why necessarily the Doug Trio lead when you know that Koraidon's going to be coming out and it's likely to collision course your ass. And even if it doesn't, even if you're like probably rightly suspecting it's going into your bundle, you probably rightly assume it's going into your bundle. What's it going to do to revenge, right? I'm not sure. I'm not a huge fan of the Doug Trio lead. Love the bundle lead. It matches so well into the rest of this team, and it immediately puts Phony Spade on the back foot. However, oh no. Okay. Yeah. Go. So the protect there was obviously very strong. That crit though, I'm not. Okay, so that's a scarf. That's obviously a Scarf Typhlosion, but it's Eruption, full health Eruption in the sun, very high special attack. I'd have to run the calc to see if that kills Iron Bundle, which it hits neutrally. Iron Bundle is an ice water, so fire does hit neutrally on it. So I'm not positive that that doesn't just kill on its own. But either way, if I'm Hallie right now, I'm tilted. Yeah, and this thing is going to die to it too, even if you get your Tailwind up here. Like, that's what you hope for. You get your Tailwind up here, and then this thing has to 1v4. Which I'm not sure it can. Nope. Sure can't. Quad weak to that move. Koraidon is so fast. Oh my god. Like, it was faster than this Necrozma in Tailwind. That's wild. Rain dances just to show that she has it. I don't know if you want to be giving your opponent that info. But whatever. Here's game 2. Same leads. Different leads from the guy in front this time. You know, I think he probably should have just re-led the same thing. You showed it was really strong. If she has an answer to that, it's game 2. It's on her to show that, and then you can figure out what her game plan is in response to that, and then go to it on game 3. That's a standard way. I do understand the switch up. You assume she's going to switch up the lead, so you switch up the lead to just beat her down and put her away before she can kind of figure out how to come back. I get that, but now look at this. You know, like I said, like these two are strong into this Doug trio because it can't. It's gonna like if it's running packing like Earthquake or something, then Earth Eater happens. But it's probably just like Stomping Tantrum, and then it'll hit this, and you'll body press and get Tangling Haired. And Bundle is quite strong, and because it's Ice Water, it's neutral to Steel. So this lead definitely goes to Hallie. So it was Stomping Tantrum. It didn't kill, which is interesting. The body press onto Iron. Okay. So Phony Spade did have a plan. I forgot to say the names of the teams. It's the Lilac City Luckers and the Wet Ash Blissies, both 0-1. Going into this game, that was actually a pretty good turn 1 for Phony Spade. Yes, you took 2 sets of damage, but killing these guys are both effectively dead. But killing one guy and getting all this damage on her second biggest threat, arguably, an Iron Bundle, is a pretty good start. Here comes Iliumize again. This Freeze Dry kills, Struggle Bug kills, easy peasy lemon squeezy. So here comes Koraidon and Typhlosion again. They cleaned this duo up pretty handily last game. Let's see if it happens again. Terastallizes Fire, protects, sets Tailwind, Icy Winds. Okay, let's see how much this Eruption does after that Icy Wind. A lot. Nice. It would have killed that if not for the Focus Sash. I don't mind the protection on the Koraidon there. You don't want to necessarily get like Ice Beamed out of nowhere by this bundle, and now all of a sudden it's this against the world. My question is why didn't Hallie... You know it's Terrifier because it Terrified last time, so why not just, like, Water Attack into this? Game 1, right? Game 1, when he led this, the move was Protect Eruption, and he did it again. So I feel like... I don't know. But, Terrafairy... Like, so this thing got crunched last time, so now you know that. So you've brought the Terrafairy, you suspect the crunch is coming again, and now you get to resist it. Wonderful. Activate the Meteor Beam. Super dead. All right, and now all of a sudden you're in a really strong position. Iliumizer, no, because you have +1 special attack, and you resist both of this guy's stabs. You resist one, you're immune to another. Set up the range so the Flare Blitz can't hit you hard neutrally. Clean it up. Really nice comeback from Hallie there. I think that was a misplay on the lead from Phony Spade. Although I understand the logic behind it. I think it was a somewhat misplayed lead. I get that, like, so he leads so I'm not replaying the whole battle, but like, so it was Orthworm and Empoleon. So this says to me that you're worried Arcanine's going to come in and weaken your Koraidon because you led it last time, so you don't want to do it again. So you do the competitive Empoleon. I guess my question is, yeah, what happens if that doesn't happen? And even though he did this turn 1 pretty well, the leads ended up working out. Yeah, I'm not sure. Wasn't able to overwhelm the same way he was in game 1. And part of that is just the adjustments from Hallie. The Terra Fairy on the Necrozma was good. It was really well timed. So, but yeah, because of how that was what I was saying, is because of how Phony Spade played that last game, and left it to be Lunala, or not to be Necrozma, Koraidon at the end, set himself up for that Terra switch. So hopefully he doesn't do that again. I don't know why I said hopefully. I should state I'm not rooting for anyone in any of these matches other than my own. When I'm watching it for the first time and it has certain playoff implications, maybe I will. But in these videos, I won't be rooting for people. I just like to root for comebacks, and I like to root for underdogs. But I also want to root for good play. So the Icy Winds are just stacking competitives on this Empoleon. It's getting really scary. Flash Cannon just murders him, but you've got Gouging Fire and Typhlosion out, and Necrozma still. So I'm foreseeing visions of the past here. Dugtrio fast enough to take that guy out. You Collision Course. Tangling Hair is going to lower your speed, so now you're slower than Necrozma probably. Terra Fairies again. Fake Tears, Earth Power. Not dead from that, actually. Crunch. Oof. Has no anti-fairy move. So the Koraidon... Even Terra this guy? Yeah, Terra fired the Typhlosion. So it looks like the Koraidon had no answer to a Terra Fairy Dawn Wings here, which, I mean, that's fair. It would have needed a different guy then, I guess. Collision Course, Crunch, Protect, and I assume like Outrage or something. No, it was Flare Blitz. Never mind, we saw it was Flare Blitz. Yeah, probably should have Flare Blitzed that turn, expecting her to Terra again because she did it in the previous one. In the sun, it might have killed. I'm not sure. But with the Fake Tears on this one, would that Struggle Bug have killed? Maybe not. I don't know, actually. Maybe that one was winnable if instead of crunching you just Flare Blitzed. Because even if she doesn't Terra, you're still hitting it neutrally with a Flare Blitz. So if it kills, it kills. And if it doesn't, well then you lost anyway. Might as well just see. But with the Flare Blitz recoil, the fact that like you've been slowed by the Tangling Hair, so the Earth Power hits you for 86 first, and then you're going to get the Flare Blitz recoil, that might have just killed him anyway. So maybe there was nothing he could have done. Either way, though, just absolute props to Hallie on the scouting. This Terra Fairy Dawn Wings, like, he had literally no answer for it. None of these guys really could have done anything, except maybe Orthworm, maybe. But you just get, like, Moongeisted. So, yeah. It's kind of funny, because Iron Bundle sort of served the same purpose to Hallie that Golden Go did for Flaccid Panda, in that it's a big, it's like a big irritating threat that you have to expend resources to get rid of, and sometimes those resources end up being the thing that can kill the Uber in the back. So yeah, Wet Ash Blissies goes to 1-1. Lilac City Luckers fall to 0-2. Before we go, let's just take a look at the standings after week 2. Granted, a match has already happened, so bear that in mind. But yeah, here are the standings as they look. I'm not really gonna go over it because it's early, right? It's not like this is just where things stand right now. I'm not interested in the playoff math yet. We still have like 5 more weeks to go. But if you're interested in them, pause the video here so you can take a look. Yeah, that's what. Anyway, that's all I had. I'll probably do this again next week. Probably. Sorry for a long one. See you then. Bye.